let's fix non-con scheduling across college football. Because I have to be honest, when I hear your comments about Indiana football, my guard goes up, right? I'm like, oh, I gotta defend it. And then I hear, like, you just started the series, like, you should be embarrassed, which is like the YouTube shorts you're putting out, which I'm a huge fan of. And the first school you attacked is Penn State. So it's like, I can't sit here and be upset when everybody's getting the smoke. So I mean, I'll just give you the runway to kind of talk about your problem with the non-con, because I feel like you're going to hit the nail on the head for a lot of people. And then kind of maybe we bounce around some solutions.
So clearly there's a difference between what any particular school should do based on their self-interest and doing what's best for them versus what should be done overall in the sport. Those are two different things. Indiana has objectives, and Indiana circa 2023 and before was survival. Get to a bowl game, make some extra money, make it look like a really good season. Do what's in the best interest. If there are no guidelines or parameters for scheduling non-conference games, then do what's best for you. So I don't have an issue. There is a poke the bear mentality to those shorts, and I'm going to get to everyone. Rutgers, you're up, and some
Penn
other
State.
ones. Yeah.
Penn State got it already. They got it.
Yeah. So, I just want to be clear about that. It's like when I attack Notre Dame and get on Notre Dame about not being in a conference. I'm not blaming Notre Dame. They do what they can get away with. I have no issue with Notre Dame. They act on the best interest of Notre Dame. They're not the problem. The problem is college football, not holding them accountable and forcing them into a conference. So the same thing lies true for Indiana. They're doing what they think is what's best for them. There should be rules in play. I think that the non-con should be completely taken out of the hands of the schools, and there should be a formula that's driven by a committee. I think there's just too many teams to give it like this NFL formula approach. I think there needs to be a committee involved, but there should be equitable non-conference scheduling across the board. I don't think that Indiana should be playing what we're seeing the last 2 years, and other schools, and USC should be playing Notre Dame and LSU in 2 out of 3 non-conference. Like, the inequity of non-conference scheduling is just crazy. But that's what's going to happen when the schools schedule themselves.
100%. Well, you have a school like Ohio State's going to play Texas in week 2. Like, awesome. Penn State plays Villanova and like 2 schools I literally forget. Like, it's like
FIU, Nevada.
And then you're like, yeah, Penn State's the number 1 team in the country, and Ohio State, who knows what the talent they have leaving and questions at quarterback. Like, if they win 10 games, but one of those losses is to Texas, and they're potentially on the outside looking in because of their harder non-con, like, that's where ultimately I could see people having problems. So it's like, I full blown agree with you. Like, the issue is not what the individual teams are doing to abide by the rules and look out for their best interest, but it's like, how do you not have like it set in stone, like the Big Ten and the SEC are just playing each other, like one team, or have like those conference games where you have like Power 5 teams on the schedule every year. It's good for the brands of both teams. Like, it's good for the fans. It's like, yeah, I'm going to watch Indiana play Kennesaw State and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. But like, it's like a low stakes, borderline meaningless, like get through without injuries and look good type of like showcase versus like actually how good is my football team.
Yeah, I think a big elephant in the room, and Jeffrey beat me to it, is, Big Ten SEC challenge. I mean, it's 2 conferences. It's clear. Like, I see it as, I know it's Power 4. I see it as Power 2, especially with the acquisitions of the 4 best programs from the Pac-12 into the Big Ten. And then SEC, already considered the best conference, getting the top 2 schools from the Big 12. It's very obvious it's Power 2. I think college football fans would eat it up. I think it'd be awesome if Indiana could play South Carolina, and and then we'll put our money where our mouth is here. And what are your thoughts on that idea?
So, from the standpoint of forcing everyone to play a difficult non-conference game, check the box there, and then obviously just the entertainment factor, check the box, and then the rivalry factor of the 2 power brokers in the sport, settling things on the field, playing like what we see in basketball, just a full Saturday of, 16 versus 16 teams, it would just be insane. It would be phenomenal. That somewhat flies in the face, somewhat. Not all of it could be played under my system of bringing a level of equity to the non-conference play. Because what people want to see is they want to see Ohio State play Alabama or whomever you would choose to be the number one team in the SEC.
And
they want
Indiana
to see
would get like Mississippi State, like no.
Yeah, in typical years, Indiana would play Mississippi State. Indiana now, maybe it's a Tennessee, it's a South Carolina, somebody like that. So that's actually not equitable. It's not fair that the best teams have to play the best teams. But I'm not going to get into the whole how I would schedule it. Yes, that would be phenomenal. I'll just state it that way. Yes, that would be great. Would love it.
Maybe like a little random generator, we got Vanderbilt versus Michigan, and then randomly we'll get, Purdue takes on Bama. I mean, that would still get a gauge as to, how these conferences match up, even if they are a little mixed matched a little bit. Obviously we don't really want to see Bama play Purdue, but I think where I'm getting at a little bit, just kind of, equity. I think it's the important word. I think
we get 3 non-conference games. If the SEC would ever get their act together in the ACC and actually play 9 games. So 3 non-conference games. I just want to make sure that the end result of those 3 non-conference games are as equitable as possible. You can't predict the future. Obviously, teams get better and they get worse. So if Alabama has to play Ohio State, well, then they get a real break in the other 2 games, or it's balanced. So we could have those games under my. I've rolled out a system in the past that would ensure as much equity as you could possibly instill without being able to forecast the future. And just to answer the way you guys set this part of the conversation up, the problem with the entire sport is nobody runs the sport. The sport is run by the conferences. You don't have in the NFL, the NFC East doesn't run their division and do whatever they want for their best interest, and the AFC South does something different and all over the place. No, they're all working under one company. They're all focused on what's best for the NFL. That's all that matters. And what gave us the best indication of how this sport is run and how it operates is COVID, the pandemic year. The NCAA, they were nowhere to be found. We had no idea what they were doing. It was the SEC basically said, we're playing football and we're going to bring in every expert possible to figure out how we're going to approach this. But we're going to play football. And the Pac-12 was running scared in the opposite direction. We're not playing football. There's no way we're going to play. And the ACC and the Big 12 basically said, well, if the SEC can do it and they're going to do it, well, they kind of followed suit. And the Big 10 was the most interesting to watch because you had academia say, no, we're not playing. No, we got to lock down. But the fabric of the footprint in the Big 10, the coaches, the players, the fans are so pro football, meaning not pro football, but pro playing football, that there was this struggle that was really massive to watch. And obviously the football side of it finally won. But that was on full display as to this is how this sport's run. Now we get to see who really runs this sport. Well, each conference runs its sport. It's not Greg Sankey's responsibility to look out for college football. He looks out for his conference. That's what he's paid to do.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. So I guess when, you're commissioner of college football one day, Mark, I would like a job. That's all I got. That's all I got. I would like to help,
We can figure that out. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mark, I'll leave you with one final question to piggyback off of kind of there's no central power in college football, because I feel a lot of the same way. the biggest development I've been watching that has been getting borderline no attention has been the development of the college sports committee and then the appointment of Brian Seeley to be the CEO. So is this something you've been following at all? Because it's, to me, he's going to end up being the disciplinary figure for college sports, and it's not going to be long before people know who he is. But how are you kind of viewing that situation?
Yeah, so that is, as you state, the most under the radar important move that's been made in the sport recently, or maybe in a long, long time, that didn't get a whole lot of play because nobody knows who he is. And I don't think most people can't really figure out, okay, who is he replacing, or what is this? What is he going to do? But yeah, that's that. And the Big Ten and the SEC being, they're almost like the United States and the Soviet Union in World War II. It's like they're allies, but they're always got their eye on each other. Like, I don't trust you at the same time. So
their self-interests align just enough to be friends, but not enough to like each other.
So yes, they formed this committee that they're going to look out for the sport, fix the sport, address these things. And they know that the other one's just as powerful. So they can beat down on the Big 12 and the ACC, and basically, as long as they agree, they can tell them what to do. But they got to first agree and check with each other, and they're having trouble with that with this playoff. So that's another relationship I'm looking out for as well.
Brad, you got any thoughts on Brian Seeley?
I think Mark nailed it on the head. I think there's just a lot to be seen in terms of what's he going to do? What impact is he going to have? Are we going to go super conferences? Are we just going to do away with it? I would personally, I wouldn't like that. I kind of like the brands at the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, RIP, the Pac-12. I mean, I guess we're coming back with Texas State. I mean, that's huge for us, being the Pac-12 ambassador here. Yeah, I'm just curious to see kind of what the format is going to look like, and if we're going to standardize, are we going to go 8 conference schedule? Are we going to go 4, 9? Is that going to be standardized across all conferences? Just, I'm more in a wait and see with the Mark Seeley. Did I get that name right? Is it Mark Seeley?
It's Brian Seeley.
Brian Seeley. Apologies.
SoCal Hot Sauce said, Mark, 75 minutes still going. Reach out if you want some free hot sauce. I do feel like we've taken up more than a lot of your time. So, Mark, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, you're more than welcome to hang out if you want. Like, if you want to stick around, we got a couple like news things to run through and some Indiana football stuff to cover. You're more than welcome to hang out if you want.
Well, I'm going to head out, but man, I appreciate the invite. It was a whole lot of fun to talk Indiana football and hang out with you guys for a while. And again, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And you guys know behind the scenes, whatever I can do personally and the rest of the network can do to boost what you guys are doing. You guys have certainly held up your end of the bargain in regards to, putting together a great product here and building a community. So it's fun to watch.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you sharing your knowledge, your perspective, and all that good stuff. And check out Mark's show. He's live Monday through Fridays, 4 p.m., the Voice of College Football show, or the College Football show on the Voice of College Football Network. You can check out Mark's book on Amazon, Disputed National Champions. And yeah, check him out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all that good stuff. Mark, appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
Hey, let me know when Phil Steele's coming on. Hell yeah.
That was Mark Rogers, the head honcho at the Voice of College Football.
All right. Now we can
the boss is gone.
All right.
It's funny. I like to refer to Brad as the encyclopedia of college football, but Mark is truly an encyclopedia
a little bit.
College football.
He's just been around a little longer, and some of those years got a little blurry too for me. So I try to make it, but yeah, Mark is a true ball knower, and I love his perspective on things and how he approaches. I think we think very similarly in terms of, the whole like, oh, my team's better than your team. That's a dumb argument. Hypotheticals are dumb. Take the sport for what it is. It's competitive. Equity, right? I think equity is a great word that he used there. He used that a ton. I think that's a great way to kind of see college football as opposed to kind of how some people down south like to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And I like to, it's funny, the 8-4 prediction was the whole reason why I went on Mark's show like back a month and a half, 2 months ago when I went on. And like I like to, I guess I'll call it punching above my weight when talking about Indiana football when I think somebody's opinion is slightly off. But you're talking about somebody who's got like a deep perspective of the sport, who's like may at times say things like you should be embarrassed and like go for a little bit more of a headline grab. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, like that guy is a college football junkie and he's like, he knows his stuff. So it's the Voice of College Football Network is a thing because of Mark Rogers. So we're happy to be here.
He's living the dream. I'm jealous, would love to get out of my 9 to 5.